don't have to be the person that comes and goes. You could just be good from the start. You could be consistent from the start. You could do this from the start and flourish from the start, right? But some of us have had to do it and fail and then come back again.
24 seconds, yeah, you better not stop. You got 24 seconds, can you beat the shot? Put you waiting on the daddy, I ain't got that much time. You see me.
Dumelang Sanbonani, my name is lesegolouw, also known as Black Paragon of Excellence, and welcome to watching a Black Womening. And particularly for this video, I am starting a new series on my channel that is going to be called The Sisterhood Safe Space. And the reason why I'm starting this particular series is because it will give me an opportunity to not only do vlogs, but also to sit down and have heart-to-heart conversations with you about interesting topics to me, but also interesting topics to you, right? It gives us an opportunity to just be more engaging. I want to talk about why I quit YouTube, right? Other people may not be aware, but I started this page in 2021. So I started the channel or posting on the channel in 2021, and at the time I was also doing vlogs, but I was also doing sit downs, etc., but I was not consistent. And one of the main reasons I was not consistent is because I had not defined the parameters within which I wanted my page to exist. But before we get into that, let's start with the very first thing that used to annoy me, was that every time I would look back, I would record, go back, look at my video, badla, I would hear this voice that's coming from the video that I just recorded, and it's like, who is this person? I was not speaking in my natural voice that I would speak to if I'm speaking to a friend, or if I'm even speaking, I don't know, to my son or to family members or whatever it may be. But I was not using my natural voice, and every time I would hear myself speak, I would just have this cringe fest where I'm like, oh my goodness, why can I not just speak normal? But it was, of course, the nerves, but also I think it had something to do with, I don't know, maybe I was trying to create a persona. I don't even know what was going on, but it was a bit weird, and I did not like it, and I did not like how I sounded, because I knew that's not how I spoke. It was just this squeaky hi guys, and it might have also been influenced by the people that I was watching. Maybe to have a YouTube is to have this voice, because you know, even nowadays we say that influencers tend to sound alike, people tend to do the same types of content or whatever. So that was probably me mimicking what the content that I was exposing myself to, but I did not like that, because I knew that the reason for me starting a YouTube channel was because I wanted to be me and I wanted to share myself with you guys. But now if I'm going to be like, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, it's not gonna work, my sister. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's so annoying. It was annoying me. And I'm not saying that people who have squeaky voices out there, banda, do you, but for me, that's not how I spoke. So I was not annoyed by the squeaky voice itself, but I was annoyed by the fact that I was doing it when I do not speak like that naturally, right? Which actually leads me into the second reason why I quit YouTube, which is that I just had not defined the parameters within which I wanted my page to exist. And to elaborate, that means that I had not defined what I was and was not comfortable sharing in terms of content. Because I would go back and watch my videos and realize that, that feels like I'm oversharing. Or I'd go back and look and be like, I don't think I want this this content out there, or I should have just kept that sort of experience to myself. It just didn't sit right with me that I would go back and not be proud of the work that I've produced, but rather nitpicking whether or not it is something I should have released in the first place, right? And another thing which was inevitable was that people would come to me with the information that I've given them about myself and be like, oh, you XYZ, and I'm like, how do you know that? And then the person is like, your YouTube channel, and I'm like, am I silent or have I been silenced? And there was this over familiarity that I was not comfortable with yet. I think I've grown from that point to now, where I'm more comfortable with who I am and what I am, and I'm willing to share more than I was back then right now. And it came with a lot of deliberation, because even when I had quit YouTube, I was still thinking about it the entire time. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I felt guilty that why don't I just go back and just apologize and then just start posting again, and then we'll see what we do along the way. But I think even the wait was absolute divine timing, because there are certain L's that I wouldn't have wanted to take in public. Like, for example, I wouldn't have wanted to film my pregnancy at the time. And if I had a YouTube channel, I probably would have felt obligated to. And then people would have, or if I didn't post and I tried to stay anonymous and not say that I'm pregnant, and then people will start saying, hey, are you pregnant? Hey. This was already happening on my other social media platforms like Instagram, etc. But it wasn't as excessive because I just disappeared. I just deuces and I was out, right? But with YouTube, I would have expected consistency from myself, and I would have probably expected transparency from myself as well. But that is a time in my life that I did not want to film, and I'm glad that I didn't, right? Yeah, and I think overall, I was just always cringing. I was in a constant state of cringing. It was a cringe fest, okay? I was uncomfortable with myself, because one thing about vlogging or wanting to be a content creator is that you're going to be faced with yourself. You now have to look yourself in the mirror. You have to look at yourself and be okay with what you see, which then leads me to, I think this is my fourth or fifth or whatever, but my other point, which is I was so critical of what I looked like. Hey, what a silly girl. What a silly girl I was. What a silly girl I was, because I look at her now and I'm like, girl, you were so beautiful, and you really, and I don't know who you allowed to convince you that there was anything wrong with you at the time. And don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong, I have flu, I'm recovering from a terrible cold, but don't get me wrong, I am one of the most confident people that I know, right? However, I must be honest that there are certain things I would look at when I looked at videos of myself, and I'd be like, I wish this were different or that were different. And then guess what happens? A year later, I fall pregnant. And you know what pregnancy does? 360. It hits you, it destabilizes your life, okay? So while you're thinking, oh, my arms, my stomach, it's small waters. Go through pregnancy, you'll see the truth about life, okay? At least for me. Not everyone has a pregnancy is not monotonous. It's not the same type of experience. But I'm saying for me in particular, my arms have stretch marks now. My tummy has stretch marks. My sides here have stretch marks. My nose is double the size, okay? My face is rounder. My boobs are bigger. My tummy is bigger. My thighs are bigger. My butt. Yeah, but it's fine. So, pros and cons, okay? Pros and cons. But my point is, I was nitpicking what my body looked like. I would always feel, my arms are too big, and here. And then, boom, life showed me that, you know what? None of that stuff really matters. And hence, I'm saying that I needed to go through this period of not being a content creator to then understand that it's not there. Not to invalidate myself, but it's not worth me holding back on content creation in the name of those insecurities. They can't drive me, because unfortunately for the world, I think I'm pretty good at content creation, and I'm not going to gatekeep myself any longer. So yeah, I now come onto this YouTube screen with a bigger nose and a bigger face and bigger arms and a bigger stomach and a bigger butt and a bigger bigger, but everything is bigger and also better. Okay, I'm much more confident. I'm a mother. I'm grown. I'm killing it in certain areas. So what is there to complain about? And yeah, man, you're right. You know, I think another thing is I planned far and wide ahead in terms of the content that I wanted to create, conceptually. But I never really put things into timelines. But okay, Lesego, you're going to sit down. On this week you're going to do this, and I'm not saying that everything should be as calculated, but for somebody like me, I needed that structure going into the first few months of being a content creator. And I think now I'm much more comfortable and I'm much more accountable to myself to be able to create content consistently. I don't think there's a day that goes by without me remembering, but Sisi, you actually create content at this point. Like, you are a content creator. Amongst everything that's happening, there's always going to be me pulling out my phone and recording something myself or other things. But it's like a constant thing. It's not a by the way after everything I've done and then, you know, I remember that I'm a content creator. Which then leads me to another thing that I used to feel quite insecure about, is the idea of not having a niche. Because you go onto social media and people will be telling you, find your niche, find your niche, find your niche, right? And that's why I came up with the tagline. Even then, this was my tagline. This has been my tagline since 2020, 2021, whenever I started my channel, where I said a black womaning. And the reason I'm saying that is because I am so multifaceted that I don't think I could only focus on, let's say, for example, I now say, bah, I'm going to be a makeup content creator. It's going to be so limiting for me. It's going to be so limiting. I don't just do makeup. And in fact, I don't do makeup every day, for example. But I think I can do makeup well. And I think that if I wanted to do makeup every day and turn that into content, I could, right? But I'm also a damn good speaker. So why would I not showcase that content? I am also good at academics. You know what I mean? Why would I not showcase that type of content? I'm also, I think, a good mom. Why would I not showcase that content? So there's so much to me that I just decided that ndimi niche, kina niche, I am the niche, and I'm going to call and center myself around the fact that I am just a black woman who is black womaning in the best way she knows how to black women, period. There's nothing more, there's nothing less, there's nothing fancier than that. It's just what I am, right? And it has given me such a great sense of relief. Such a big thing just off my shoulders, because I'm now realizing that, man, you know what? People sometimes just want to get to know you. And if you're multifaceted, you do many things, let them know. And I know that there's a thin line. There's a thin line to what I'm saying. Yes, just create the content, but also know your target audience. And when I thought about my target audience, I know that most of the people who consume my content are women, right? So, yeah, that's the target audience. That's my target audience. Those are the people that my content is mostly going to cater for. That does not mean that men cannot find expression on my channel, or non-binary people cannot find expression on my channel. Anybody is welcome. But I am saying that mostly women consume the content that I make according to my analytics, which means that that is the audience that I make content for, that relates or resonates most with my content. Therefore, I've decided that they are my target audience, and it makes sense. It makes sense to me, and that's just it. Decide who you're making your content for. Decide also for yourself, what are your own boundaries, what are the things that you can and cannot do, and create that content. Create that content. Don't be like me. Well, it's okay if you're already like me right now, who had quit and now I'm back, and I'm back with a bang. So it's okay if, you know what, you stumble along the way. But what I'm saying is that if you're able to then take all of the things that I've said as lessons and know that moving forward, this is how you're going to implement, and this is how you're going to hold yourself accountable, and this is how you're going to expect that level of consistency from yourself. Because guess what? That level of discipline is going to be self-love for you and the goals that you have for your channel and the goals that you have for yourself as a content creator. So yeah, have discipline. Take the lessons from the rest of us who've come and gone from this channel. You don't have to be the person that comes and goes. You could just be good from the start. You could be consistent from the start. You could do this from the start and flourish from the start, right? But some of us have had to do it and fail and then come back again. And we're trying to come back stronger. And yeah, no, thank you so much for watching. I hope that Sisterhood Safe Space becomes something that you guys will enjoy. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with anybody else that might be struggling with their YouTube channel or struggling to start, because that's also another thing. And yeah, comment any other topics you'd like for me to speak on when it comes to the Sisterhood Safe Space, and then I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.